You are perfect. You are perfect for your twin flame. You are perfect for everybody in your life. Do you know why? Because everyone is you pushed out. We talked about that, right? You manifested anyone and the experienced with anyone in your life based on your assumptions and your self-image. But everyone around you also manifests you based on their assumptions, because there's multiple versions of you in this multiverse as well. And every person you encounter manifested you exactly the way you are. So even if you are having problems with someone, let's say a family member, or in a friendship, or in a situationship or relationship, that person manifested you based on their limiting beliefs or amazing beliefs, on their past experiences, on everything that is in their subconscious mind and that is their dominant belief about people in general, or men or women in general, or specifically you. So if you're wondering if you're not good enough for your person, then please watch my video in the Twin Flame 101 playlist about not feeling good enough for your person. But the thing is, you are good enough. If you have this person and you love them and you know they love you too, but you have some fears of not being good enough in some kind of way, whatever it is. Maybe you fear that, well, let's say you're from different cultures and you fear that you're not good enough because you don't speak their language very well, or you fear that you're not good enough because you have a different religion and maybe they have parents that are strict. In some cultures, parents can still prohibit their children from marrying someone that they don't like. Or you feel not good enough because you don't have a specific body weight, or you feel not pretty enough, or you feel that there's class differences and you don't feel good enough. Or a big thing, of course, can be the age gap. And I have 2 videos on the twin flame age gap. One is more general and one is when the woman is older. You can find those links in the description box below as well. Whatever it is that you think that you're not good enough or not deserving of love. Maybe you grew up in a situation where your parents mirrored you that you're not good enough because you only got positive feedback when you were acting in a specific way, or when you got the good grades, or if you were somebody who was a bit more fiery and you were only the good boy or girl if you were calm, or maybe you were really calm and quiet and they always told you to speak up, and you learned in early childhood that you're not good the way you are, and you learned not to be authentic. The twin flame journey, of course, is a lot about authenticity. Why? Because it's about self-love. It is about your self-image. It is about relearning those programs that got installed usually in the first 7 years of your life. The programs of, oh, I didn't feel loved, or I only got the positive feedback if I was acting in a specific way. Or maybe you never even had the feeling of being loved. Maybe your parents even told you we didn't want you and they acted accordingly. And then in your subconscious mind that could have formed the belief, I am not deserving of love because I don't know what it feels like to be loved. Then you met your twin flame. And in a true twin flame connection, you know, twin flames, it is not a one-sided connection. There is love on both sides. Otherwise, it's not a twin flame. Then it could be a catalyst. Or it could just be a projection or karmic. But in a true twin flame connection, there is the spark that ignites both twin flames. One of them, the masculine energy, usually withdraws. So in order to trigger the anxious attachment style, you know, the chasing, the fear of loss, abandonment, and neglect within the feminine energy. And they have to trigger that by going, by leaving, by withdrawing. That's the only way that the feminine realizes that she still has that wound within her. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't love her. The masculine, he loves his feminine. Why? Because she is the projection of his own inner divine feminine. Of course, if he grew up with some kind of toxic femininity, you know, a mother that was either smothering or not loving, not there, or there was a toxic relationship between his parents and he saw that, or he experienced other feminines in his life that kind of mistreated him, then yes, he has that core wound, and then he would attract you in the energy where you're not healed yet, where maybe you are very clingy, or where you get mad at him easily, or where you're trying to change him, where you don't want him to be authentic because you want him to be the version that you like him to be, which is completely fine because you can manifest that version, but not by manipulating the other person or giving ultimatums or anything like that, not by being mad at them. According to the law of assumption, everything you put your focus on, like being mad at them, you enhance the problem and you won't find the solution. Actually, it's not even your job to find the solution. Your job is to have a clear image of what you want. But the thing is, everyone is you pushed out, which means they manifested you exactly the way you are. So you are completely perfect. They manifested you exactly the way you are and not in any other way. In this multiverse, there's different versions of you. They could have picked another one. If they heal their inner feminine and you don't heal your inner masculine, then guess what? Then they will shift timelines and they get the version of you that healed that. So they would even experience union with you and you won't, because you're on this different timeline where there's no union. But let's say you have overcome all of that stuff and you got rid of the childhood programming, and now all you have left is maybe a little anxiety when it comes to what I said earlier, being from different cultures or classes or age, or you're not happy with your physical body, whatever it is. But if otherwise you are in a good place and they mirror that back to you, please don't worry about that one thing that you think is not good enough about you. Because if you hold on to that assumption, yes, they will believe that to be true. If you think you're not pretty enough, they may think that you're not pretty enough. If they think that differences in religion are a problem, law of assumption, everyone is you pushed out, then they will think that as well. Or maybe they won't think it, but they still will fear it somehow. Maybe they think, no, it's not an issue, but that fear that could come up in any other way. That people around them would mirror that back. Like by, for example, saying, oh, you're different religions and this is not going to work out, or you're forbidden to do that. That is if they still have something unhealed when it comes to that specific topic or issue, whatever it is. But if you change your assumptions about yourself, and you realize that you are this perfect divine soul that is having this physical experience, then guess what? Your person is going to notice that as well. And even if you don't think you are, let's say, beautiful, if you step into this energy of accepting yourself, you will develop this inner glow. And then your person will think that you are absolutely amazing and beautiful. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what your body weight is. It doesn't matter whatever you think the issue is, if you're older than them. Once you start loving yourself, or at least learn to accept those things you don't like truly accept them, well, they're part of you, then they will accept that as well. And then it won't be an issue anymore. If you realize, no, I'm perfect the way I am, even if I'm not perfect, even if I do have little imperfections, I'm perfect with my little imperfections. They will think that is true as well, because they mirror back your assumptions. And of course, they can also learn about manifesting. But they manifested you. They didn't manifest consciously or subconsciously. We always manifest. We can learn to manifest consciously, or we do it subconsciously on autopilot. Let's say there is this huge age gap. Your person manifested you with the age gap. Because your person could have manifested another person where this is not an issue. But they manifested you because they chose to learn something about that. They chose to learn, oh, it doesn't really matter. I still love her. Or him, of course. If there's different religions, your person manifested this situation as well, because there is some lesson within them. If you think, well, you're not that good looking, guess what? I have been coaching people for many years, thousands of them. Since 2005, I spoke to many people. And I often heard them say, well, I have the soul connection, and that person is actually not my usual type, but I still love them. And I still want them exactly the way they are. Why? Because there is a soul connection. And when there is a sincere soul connection, some things don't matter. Or did every person you ever fell in love with, were they ever your type 100%, like each one of them? Or were some of them maybe not exactly your type, and then they grew on you, and then you all of a sudden loved everything about them? Even though if they had passed you on the street, you would not have turned around before you met them. But then all of a sudden you realized, oh my God, they're beautiful, because there's this soul connection. And guess what? Your person is not completely shallow. Not if he's or she's on the twin flame journey, because that journey is to overcome things as shallowness. So if your person was in the energy of attracting a divine counterpart, a twin flame is one kind of divine counterpart, then your person is a mature soul. Maybe have some issues that are not healed yet, some childhood stuff, but then your person is a mature soul that is absolutely able to overcome these kind of things. So however you are, they manifested you exactly the way you are, and that is why you are perfect. You're perfect because they're in your life right now. There's a version of them that is dealing with another version of you, but the version you are dealing with right now manifested you exactly the way you are, either consciously or subconsciously. So there's nothing wrong with you. Yes, this journey is about self-love and developing and leaving shadows behind. But it's not about becoming perfect or becoming worthy of love. You already are that by default. You already are. Have you ever saw a puppy or a kitten or a baby, human baby, and you immediately love them, especially, of course, if it's like a family member? That baby didn't have to do anything to be worthy. It just had to exist, right? It just had to be there, and it was worthy of love. And you were once this baby. So when, in your opinion, did you stop being worthy? You're not worthy, because in the eyes of spirit, you're still this, like, as humans, we see this baby and we're like, oh my God, amazing. Or we see this kitten or puppy or any baby animal and we're absolutely flabbergasted, right? Well, in the eyes of spirit, we are still like this. We never outgrow that. And guess what? A twin flame is a spiritual connection. So we are humans, but we are also spirit. And your person is also spirit. And their spirit already loves and adores you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything to become perfect. You already are. This is not about perfection. This journey is about healing and transformation and becoming your authentic self. But it's not about you have to be perfect in order to be loved. No. You are already amazing, just the way you are. Learn to love that. A little thing I once learned is a story from my teenage years. I had a friend, and to me she was one of the most beautiful girls I'd ever seen. She was my age, I think like a year younger than me, and she was the most beautiful. And I absolutely adored her. She was just stunning to me. And she was my friend, but I still envied her a bit, not in a toxic way, like I hated her for being pretty. No, it was just like, oh my God, I wish I would look like that. And then guess what? When I was like 16, I had a crush on this guy, and her and I, we had become estranged, like, you know, teenage girls. One day you're friends and then you're not. And then she started dating the guy I had a crush on. Oh, that hurt. But guess what? Years later, I was friends with her cousin. That's how I met her. Her cousin told me, you know what? She's got multiple sclerosis. And then I thought back and was like, oh my God, I always envied her for her beautiful, perfect body. How glad am I that I don't have her body now? I may not look as perfect as she does, but I'd rather not look perfect than have multiple sclerosis, honestly. So this taught me being more grateful for the way I am. Not perfect, but healthy. And that is perfect. You know that not every person has 2 feet to work on. Not every person has all of their limbs, or some people have some kind of disease. How grateful am I not to have any of that? And I'm not saying that if you have a disease, you're not worthy. I would advise you to learn more about the law of assumption, and I would advise you to learn more about Dr. Bruce Lipton and also Dr. Joe Dispenza. Please Google them if you have anything like that, especially Dr. Bruce Lipton, because he will teach you that we can manifest overcoming pretty much everything. But he's the expert on that. So self-love does not mean to think everything about you is perfect. It's about accepting and still being grateful for what you have. Well, anyway, that video turned out a lot longer than I expected, as usually. If you need a little help on your journey, you can reach out for coaching. You can find me on social media like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Check out my other videos, especially the Twin Flame 101 playlist. And if this video helped you, please help me grow my channel by subscribing, by liking, by sharing. Let's spread this message to other divine feminines to help them grow as well. And yes, I do see you on social media, Facebook, another video, or in a personal coaching. And till then, I wish you all the best now. Bye-bye.